Hey guys, my name is Kelly Dale and I am owner of Off the Beaten Path in Forest City, North Carolina. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful gemstone and chain Soaring Sparrow necklace. The great thing about this necklace is that when you put the chain around for the back, you can make the necklace as short or as long as you need it. So for today's project, what I'm going to use is I've used 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 8mm round gemstone beads, and in my case I'm using like a sky blue jasper. You're going to need some antique gold chain or antique brass chain. I'm using like a small oval linked type chain. You're going to need some eye pins in the antique brass or head pins, and I'll explain that in a minute. You're going to need a Soaring Sparrow, one of the vintage brass Soaring Sparrows. I'm using a 19 by 16mm vintage filigree leaf. Then you're going to need 3 5 or 4mm jump rings, as well as a antique gold lobster claw. In addition to these, you're also going to need your round nose, your flat nose, and your cutter tools. So to get started, when we start the project, we're going to start here in the center and work out. So what we'll want to do is you'll want to pick out your gemstones. Now, I used the sky blue jasper because this is actually going to be my sister-in-law's necklace. She's seen me make this and absolutely love it. So I'm making her this one, and she likes more darker colors. But if you want to brighten it up for spring, you can use maybe some rose quartz or a strawberry jasper, you know, something very pretty to go with your gemstones. Now, I like to use a head pin, a vintage 3-inch head pin, when I actually get ready to do the project, because if you use your eye pins, which instead of having a base like this head pin does, it has a loop on the end, you use a lot of eye pins to do this project. Whereas if I use a 3-inch head pin and cut the head off of it, I can get 2 pins out of this one. So it's completely up to you. Sometimes if you have a hard time finding the antique gold eye pins, you know, the head pins are always your choice to go. And to do that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cutters, and I'm going to come to the very tip here at the end. I'm going to put my finger over the cutters, over the top of it, so that I don't sling the little head. And I'm going to cut that head off, so that way I just have a straight pin. You can also use just regular wire if you wanted to, but I like the head pin. I'm going to come down about 1/4 of an inch, a little over 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to turn the wire to a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to make my loop for the eye of my pin. And once I have the loop made, I'll open up the loop and attach it to the loop here in the top of my leaf. For the next few steps or so, it really doesn't matter if your leaf is on the front side or the back side, because it's hard to tell here on the video, but the back side is flat and it kind of is cut out a little bit, whereas the front side is more detailed and looks a little better. So like I said, until we get up here to where we're going to add the sparrow, you really don't have to worry about whether the leaf is on the right side or the back side. Now I'm ready to start adding my beads, so I'm going to pick up a gemstone onto my pin. I'm going to grab right above the bead, make that 90-degree angle cut. Then I'm going to trim this excess wire, and I'm going to keep that excess wire so I can do another pin out of it. And then make my loop. Now, if you need to know how to make loops, we do have that on another tutorial. If you'll just check back, we have plenty of loop projects. Now, I'll start with my next pin, make my loop, open the loop, attach it to the one I just did, close the loop, and the big thing is you always want to make sure you get those loops good and closed. And then I'm going to pick up my next bead and then make my loop. And I pay attention, and it's very important for you to pay attention which directions your loops are in, because it does make a difference when you get up to the top as to the way it hangs. So I always make the loop the same way that it's laying here on my bead. So when I hold it out, the loop is kind of laying facing me. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drop the bead, bend the wire, and make my loop, so that when I make my loop, it'll be in the same direction as the first loop that I made to start the pin. So both loops, both this one and this one, are both facing towards myself. So then I'm going to repeat that, and I want 4 total beads here on my stem. Once you get all 4 onto your pins, then we're actually ready to start the V shape here and add the sparrow. Now normally what I like to do when I design is I'll start from the middle like I have, and then I'll do one side and then work on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach my sparrow by using a 4mm antique gold jump ring, or you can use a brass jump ring, completely up to you. That's the great thing about using the antique gold and the brass, it's so interchangeable. And I'm going to attach the jump ring to the loop here on the sparrow, and then I'm going to attach the last loop of my set of 4 to the sparrow. And I will close the loop, making sure it gets good and closed. Now, I have my sparrow just like this, and now I have to connect 2 beads to the back of the sparrow. So I'm going to attach a jump ring to the back of the sparrow, then I'm going to attach 2 beads here. Now that I have my 2 beads, I'm ready to start the other side of the necklace. Now, if you want to use only 1 bead, you can do that, or you can use more beads going up the side. It's completely up to you, but for what I've designed, I've just got my 2 beads here. Now, when I get ready to start this other side, as this is connected with the jump ring, I'm going to connect this side just using my eye pins as I've been doing down here on the bottom. So I'll start me another eye pin, and when I go to attach it, I'm going to attach it to the loop of the last bead that I have from the center. So I'll attach it, close it, and it's going to lay right. And at this point, you also want to look and make sure that your leaf is laying right when you hold it up. If not, you may need to turn your leaf or turn up here, fix it up here. But once I've got that on there, I'll do my bead as I normally would. Make the loop on this end. And then I'm going to work until I get 5 more beads attached to this one. So I'll have 6 beads total on this side. Now that I've got my 6 beads total, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a jump ring and attach my antique gold lobster claw to this 6th bead. For this brace, or for this necklace, I like to have that side closure. But if you don't like that, you are more than welcome to cut the chain and work with it that way. But this is just how I prefer it. I like this project a lot too, because when you do this project, it's really nice because you can use up some of your extra beads that you have. So that's always a plus. Okay, so I've got this side finished. And now this side is the side with my sparrow where I'm actually going to add my chain. Now, the chain that I'm going to use is a small oval-linked chain by Beyond Beautiful is the brand of it. And it runs you about $3.99 for 36 inches of the chain. So what I did for my sister-in-law's necklace is I trimmed the chain in half, and she likes hers necklaces long, so I did her necklace 18 inches just in the chain. And so by the time I get this done, you know, it's going to add, and it's probably going to be like a 22, 23 inch necklace, which she would like. But if you want it shorter, just trim your chain shorter. This chain also is not a closed link chain. It is open, so I wanted to open this one so that you could see how it's done. And I could take and close that back, but this is such a tough chain that if you're not careful and you're not using good quality pliers, it could ruin your pliers just from trying to get this chain open. So I took that one off just to show you. And now I'm just going to open the ring or my eye pin on this side and attach the piece of chain here, because it's much easier to open the eye pin than it is to open the chain. Now measure out the length of chain that you want and then cut the chain, and all you'll have to do is your lobster claw will attach to the piece of chain. It'll actually attach right there so that you don't have to worry about putting some kind of special other end for it, because it'll attach right to the chain. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really easy Sparrow necklace project, and I hope that you will come back next week as I teach you how to make a vintage inspired pearl, crystal rondelle, and memory wire bracelet.